So without further ado, let us begin our program. This School of Education tradition celebrates and recognizes alumni who've made significant contributions to society and whose accomplishments, affiliations, and careers have honored the legacy of excellence in the school. Recipients of this award who are accomplished in three distinct areas: professional achievement, service to society, and support to the School of Education. The faculty from each program area had the opportunity to select a recipient. I will call each chair or their representative, normally nominee, to recognize their awardees. Dr. Loris Montana, Teaching and Learning Co-Chair.
Dr. Megan Lader, please join me up here. We'll just talk about Megan for a little bit. This is what? It's hard to go first, but Megan's the best. Dr. Megan Lader is the 2018 recipient of the Teaching and Learning Distinguished Alumni Award. She earned her undergraduate degree from Marquette University in Milwaukee. She also earned a master's degree in secondary education at Roosevelt University, and her doctoral degree from Loyola University, Chicago was awarded in 2015. But she's not done. She is currently working on her second master's degree in administration and supervision at Loyola. Dr. Lader is the curriculum coordinator at Resurrection College Prep High School in Chicago. She also serves as an adjunct professor here at Loyola in the Teaching and Learning program, as well as with the Greeley Center. Dave Ensminger, also faculty in School of Education, taught Megan as a student in the doctoral program. He offers this reflection. Megan's commitment to professionalism in service of social justice is present in her work as a teacher and leader within Catholic schools. She strives to meet the needs of all learners and to create learning environments that empower both students and teachers. Her focus on student-centered learning and the use of action research within science gives a voice to her students while helping them develop their identity as scientists. While a doctoral candidate at Loyola, Megan, along with her colleague and good friend Elizabeth Coleman, developed an innovative curriculum, Science Youth Action Research, or SCIAR. This curriculum extends the thinking of inquiry-based learning by positioning students in the role of the researcher to examine topics relevant to their own lives. SCIAR also extends the current thinking of science education to address the issues related to critical science agency by promoting science identity and fostering democratic citizenship. This curriculum achieves this by positioning students in the role of the scientists and requiring students to engage in ongoing reflection about the content of their project. Simultaneously, students reflect on how the project shapes their own identity and the new information they created from their study. How will that change their future actions? Dave Ensminger says, I have personally witnessed the impact of this curriculum on the students that Megan has taught and can say that the experience is transformative for them. Megan is a strong advocate for secondary education, particularly in Catholic schools. Her inspiring work within these settings has called her to return to Loyola to complete a master's degree in AdSoup, leading to Catholic schools and playing a vital role in improving the experience for Catholic school students. I, too, have had the opportunity and honor to work with Megan during her doctoral program in curriculum instruction, serving as her dissertation committee. Additionally, I have worked on various science education programs with her across the Archdiocese of Chicago and have been delighted to have her as a regular guest speaker in my undergraduate and master's level science education courses on multiple occasions. Megan demonstrates superb skill as a science classroom teacher, as a researcher, and as a leader within the schools and the science education community. She thinks deeply about complex issues that face education, including organizational factors that influence teaching and learning within classrooms. Megan also has deep experience building relationships with families and community members. These abilities were perhaps best exemplified in her work at St. Rita High School, where she organized annual science research presentation events in which students presented and defended their work to audiences of community members, family, school faculty, and peers. In addition to, rather on top of, all of her classroom teaching responsibilities, she served as a department chair, curriculum leader, school advisory boards for her parish. Most recently, Megan's desire to seek out a principal licensure to add to her current advanced degrees and certification is to be commended. The current principal at Resurrection College Prep High School, Rick Powerski, had this to say. Since joining us at Resurrection College Prep as the curriculum coordinator, Dr. Later has assisted in executing a contemporary vision for women's science education. From an increase in students' thinking and taking advanced placement courses and publicly recognizing our students' scientific accomplishments to collaborating to empower young women to break down traditional barriers to science, Dr. Later has served as a role model for science education and leadership, with an exclamation mark. Dr. Later is exemplary in her work as a scholar and educator, and she does all of this with such a smart sense of humor. It is my absolute pleasure to honor Megan and present this award.
Thank you so much. Whoever that person is sounds awesome. So I'm sure that's me. Well, thank you very much. I am overwhelmed with gratitude and appreciation for this. You know, I started Loyola the first time around in 2008, I believe. So I joke that I've been at Loyola longer than I haven't been at Loyola. And I think that, you know, that is not a coincidence. Loyola has been a constant in my life for literally 10 plus years. And in thinking about that, and my decision to return again to Loyola to pursue my second master's degree, I legitimately looked at other schools this way. But, you know, Loyola drew me back in. And I think that was for a couple of reasons. I think, thinking about the person I've become through my work here, I think one of those things is just the sense of humility. Teaching is no joke. And in my opinion, good educators are the ones that are the most humble. And even looking at, you know, the prayer of St. Ignatius, right? So, help me to serve you as you deserve. And I think Loyola really has allowed me to, you know, kind of surrender to this vocation of education. It's not a career choice, believe me. It is definitely a calling and a vocation. And Loyola really has allowed me to reflect on that and to realize that this is a calling. And I am in service to my students, I'm in service to my families. And that's where I want to be. That's kind of where I feel the most comfortable as an educator. And I'm so grateful for that and for having that experience. The other thing that Loyola has done for me, which has been monumental, is it's given me the sense of confidence. You know, the person I started 10 plus years ago is not the person that's right here in front of you. So, you know, they've given me the tools, the knowledge to keep on, again, pursuing in service of my families and to be an advocate for or attempt to be an advocate. I hope I'm an advocate to my students and to my families. So every time I'm in a meeting or a class, Dr. Sullivan, Dr. Cafferty, you can speak to this, and girl can't shut up. You really only have yourselves to blame for that. So when I received the email that I had, you know, been awarded this, I was immediately uncomfortable. I went into Catholic education for the money, not the awards. So I was so just, you know, I don't want, you know what I mean? But in all honesty, beyond that kind of first level of discomfort is just this gratitude and sense of appreciation. And I thank you so much, Dr. Smetana, who's been more of a mentor to me than anything else. And this means so much to me. I can hardly express it here, but please know, despite all my discomfort and the sweat and the sweaty hands right now, this means a lot. And essentially what it does, it helps to validate my position and my career choices. So, for better or for worse. So, again, I thank you, and I thank all of you here. And God bless.
Chicken nominations. Datora Amora Chang, Higher Education.
Buenos dias. Dr. Christina Yao, our recipient this year, is unable to join us because, of course, she is in the midst of giving a presentation at our national conference. So it makes sense that she would not be here for this award instead of she's working. She's the 2008 recipient of the Higher Education Distinguished Alumni Award, and she earned her undergraduate degree from Marquette, a master's degree in college student personnel from Loyola University Chicago in 2002, and her PhD at Michigan State University. Dr. Terry Williams, for whom these awards are bestowed, taught Christina as a student at the Loyola NED program, and he offers this reflection. While 16 years have passed since Christina was in our program, I do remember her well as a student, and I have also followed her administrative leadership and faculty career. She is very energized about her scholarship in developing strong working relationships with faculty and peers, and in her many service contributions. Her healthy curiosity for new learning was apparent, and she was often viewed as a, quote, thought leader, unquote, among her peers on a wide variety of important academic issues. She seemed to have unbounded energy for all of her work, and her enthusiasm and warmth were certainly infectious as she worked with peers and with faculty. She was always eager to self-improve and took constructive feedback very well. What I also recall well is that throughout her entire academic and professional career, she has been dedicated to advancing social justice with the goal to improve the lives of so many others. To illustrate, her leadership and research projects reveal a commitment to helping institutional leaders understand the complexities of racial climate on the campus, including helping leaders to effectively assess the extent to which inclusive environments exist, or do not, within academic programs and departments. She's also been actively involved in international research and study that examine and advocate for the creation of sustainable food systems around the world. Her research has enabled her to work with researchers and leaders in Vietnam, South Africa, and in the UK to together labor to improve the lives of diverse groups of students and people around the world. I support her nomination because she has made important career and life decisions since leading this program that clearly advance the School of Education and Social Justice framework. I believe she serves as an excellent role model for current and future students, not only in higher ed, but within the entire school of education. Another faculty member shared that as a teacher, Dr. Yao, a graduate of both Loyola University Chicago and Marquette, exemplifies her Jesuit education and Ignatian pedagogy, which centers experience, reflection, and action. As stated in her teaching philosophy, the key tenets of Dr. Yao's pedagogy include engagement, interaction, challenge, and inspiration. She has taught online courses and in-person classes, which include critical race theory, higher education in America, and higher education environments. A nominator who has experienced Dr. Yao's impact in the field adds, throughout her time as a doctoral student and now as a faculty member, Dr. Yao has traveled to Vietnam to learn about educational systems abroad and how they relate to and impact U.S. higher education. Her trips have created international relationships and acclaim for both her and the institution she represents. Her engagements with campus and university system leaders help U.S. leaders to better understand science, technology, engineering, and math, teaching and learning practices in Vietnam. As Loyola continues to build relationships abroad, there is potential for great learning based off of Dr. Yao's work. As an instructor, I appreciate Dr. Yao's willingness to support the students in my class. For the past 2 years, I have invited Dr. Yao to visit my classroom to talk with my students about globalization and internationalization of higher education. In these visits, she has been accessible, informative, and scholarly. Additionally, because of her administrative background, Dr. Yao is also relatable to the students and can share important wisdom about entering into the workforce. Not only does this engagement show a commitment to the profession, broadly speaking, but also to me, as a newer faculty member and somebody who shares some social identities with her. Throughout my job search process, Dr. Yao has been available for feedback and support, and I personally appreciate those opportunities. We admire and are grateful for Dr. Christina Yao's years of outstanding service to the field of higher education. And it is my pleasure to name her as our recipient of the 2018 Terry Williams Distinguished Alumni Award.
We will ensure this is delivered safely when she returns to us. I would now welcome Dr. Manju Yoon, Counseling Psychology.
Chair, please join me at the podium. Dr. Sharon Taker earned her undergraduate degree from the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. She also earned a master's degree in clinical psychology from Illinois State University in Homer. She completed her PhD in counseling psychology at Loyola in 2006. Dr. Elizabeth taught Charu in the counseling psychology program and offers this reflection. In her time as a graduate student at Loyola, Charu worked closely with me on research projects exploring the academic and psychological well-being of urban youth. She was a strong advocate for considering how systematic factors such as community support and discrimination impact ethnic minority students' performance in school and their overall emotional health. After she graduated, she moved into a research position where she continued to examine cultural and systemic factors that impacted the health of youth. However, during many of our conversations, she felt that the work she was doing was having only a limited impact on changing system in ways that would improve the experience of youth of color. Charu spoke with and persuaded the administrators at UIC to create a position for her to support diverse students that she so passionately felt about. Since then, Charu has worked for over a decade creating, implementing, and overseeing diversity dialogues at UIC and working with deans, faculty, staff, and students on creating inclusive spaces within the university to promote access, equity, and retention for underrepresented members of the university community. More recently, she served as the interim chief diversity officer. Although she did not want to be considered for the permanent position, Charu was able to work closely with university officials at the highest level to advocate for equity and access and implement programs intended to change the systems. Charu is an outstanding example of practicing the social justice principles that were part of her training here at Loyola. Another nominator speaks more to the impact of her work through the eye of a colleague. Her positive qualities and leadership abilities have been recognized by the campus, and she was asked to serve as the interim vice provost for diversity for the campus. In this capacity, she worked with the 6 Centers for Cultural Understanding and Social Change. She added a 7th, the Arab American Culture Center, and navigated numerous issues requiring extraordinarily personal and professional sensitivity. Charu and I have remained colleagues throughout her ongoing efforts to support innovation in programming around dialogue. Even while her portfolio has expanded with her current position. Her increased professional responsibility and her ongoing roles within her community and in her family as the wealthy daughter, wife, sister, and mother have not diminished the care she takes to check in on and support her friends and colleagues. Charles' generosity of spirit is unparalleled. It is my pleasure to present this award.
Can I get the sweaty hands now? I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you stepping in since Liz Vera is in DC right now for one of our psychology committee meetings, so thank you so much for doing that. I am blown away by what was shared, and I'm extremely honored to be receiving the School of Education Distinguished Alumni Award. I have to mention that I don't think this at all would be possible without my support team right there at the table. That has literally been my rock, my home family and my work family, as I call it, so it doesn't cause confusion with my 9-year-old son. They've been there throughout the many challenges, along with mentors, my parents sitting there, my husband, my son, and again, my work family. I have the deepest respect for them, and I've received strength and perseverance from them throughout all of the challenges, and there have been many challenges as I've navigated this new career since I left Loyola, which at that time I thought I was just going to be a faculty, not just faculty member, sorry, faculty member as well as a researcher, and trying to balance the many identities of faculty, and then all of a sudden I got into this role of an administrator in the Office of Diversity, working closely with our leadership, and it was tough. So I look at them with the utmost respect for getting me through that transition, because I was not at all prepared for what I walked into, but love it because I'm still there 10 years later and determined to be there for quite a while longer. So while I was at Loyola, in the counseling psychology program as a doctoral student, I need to say specifically Dr. Elizabeth Vera and Dr. Suzette Spite, who is no longer here and is elsewhere at another university in Ohio, had really provided me with a framework that served as the guide to evaluate everything that I did back then and do right now through a social justice lens. The commitment to social justice, to my surprise, was evident in every course that I took with them, every clinical placement that I had, and I came back saying, I need a debrief, I need some supervision. I just was at Cook County and I saw this. And then I was up at North Shore the next year and I saw this. And they were there for me to debrief, to process, to support, and broaden my perspective on what all of that means in terms of my lens. And I can't ever forget that. That was also embedded within the research that I did with them, the manuscripts that I was fortunate enough to publish with them. Everything was embedded with social justice. But it made it hard to leave. It really made it hard to leave because it was so part of my identity. I have strong memories of Loyola being the first place where I studied, where I finally felt a very strong sense of belonging that I have never felt in my educational experience. And it was because of this shared commitment to diversity and social justice in a very genuine way. And believe me, the Office of Diversity, dealing with all of our campus constituency groups, you can tell after a while what's genuine and what's not genuine. And very few times this work is genuine. I'd like to see more of it. But we're getting there. But to me, I knew after I left what was real and a sort of deeper level of commitment and what was sort of superficial reading off the website that we're doing diversity work. But I can't complain about that because that's given me a job. and it's given me a lot of great work that I'm passionate about doing. But I have no doubts that this foundation has impacted my career choice
specifically becoming an agent of change for our campus at UIC, and with many wonderful opportunities to continue to support the key principles of access, equity, and inclusion. And so I really do thank Loyola. I thank them tremendously for letting that have that sort of significant place in my motivation and my spirit and my value set to be able to go to this new thing that I never thought I would do at UIC. So thank you, School of Education.
Dr. Marquita Newell, Counseling Psychology.
School psychology. Will Ms. Christina Ramirez please join me in the podium? Christina Ramirez earned an elementary teaching certificate at the University of Illinois Chicago and her undergraduate degree in English at the University of Illinois at Urbana. She earned a master's degree in school psychology from Loyola University Chicago in 2014 and is currently in the process of earning her doctoral degree in school psychology right here again at Loyola. Dr. Pesci, who is a faculty member in school psychology, taught Christina in her master's program, and he offers these spots. Ms. Ramirez began her professional career in education by teaching as a bilingual regular education teacher in the Chicago Public Schools. Her dedication to English learners was distinctively evident in the early phase of her lifelong commitment to students, as she created engaging and dynamic lessons with an emphasis on improving students' written and verbal communication skills in English and Spanish. Her interest in cultivating her own desire to have a more formal leadership role in educational settings led to her obtaining a master's degree in educational leadership. Christina wished to do more than work with students in a classroom setting and decided to enter a cohort with other CPS personnel, all bilingual, to begin work on an EDS degree leading to certification as a school psychologist at Loyola. Dr. Pesci met Christina in a crisis intervention in schools course that he taught. He was immediately moved by her passion for our field and her vision for her own future work as a school psychologist. She was clear that she intended to be a psychologist who would do far more than just assess students, but one who would work across multiple domains of practice, especially those related to direct work with students through counseling, systemic change, consultation, and working with others on teams to make decisions about appropriate services for students. As a school psychologist, Christina has found a setting in which she has flourished. She is viewed as a leader in her school and is frequently called upon for her analytic ability to address issues that are student-focused and also systemically focused. As a professional, Christina has continued on a path as a lifelong learner, as witnessed by the numerous workshops she has attended over time. Faculty member Dr. Fenning has underscored Christina's impact on the field. Christina has made a measurable impact on the field through her work as a school psychologist for 13 years in the same high school, Maine West High School. As a school psychologist, she is viewed as a leader among her colleagues and has provided significant leadership of others and direct service in supporting youth from a range of backgrounds and identities, inclusive of children and families who are bilingual and bicultural, recent immigrants and youth who identify as LGBTQ+. She has led mental health efforts such as facilitating crisis training and on taking on roles that include leading crisis efforts and interventions to address students' needs and executive functioning. Outside of her applied work and service to children and families in school settings, Ms. Ramirez is actively sought and has delivered professional development workshops related to supporting youth who are immigrants, have undocumented status, and identify as LGBTQ+. Additionally, Christina's colleagues offered this reflection. In addition to being a brilliant psychologist, Christina stands out in the area of service. She is most generous with her time, offering after-school workshops to teachers, staying late to attend to students who may be in crisis, or to attend the Hispanic Parent Advisory Board meetings, or to attend students' events. She does all this on her own time and is always willing to go the extra mile for our students and her parents. She is the sponsor of the Gay Straight Alliance organization and has helped the African American Club and others. She volunteers for after-school events, takes students to social events such as Feed My Starving Children on Saturday morning, and volunteers for time at the Alliance for Immigrant Neighbors, translating for Latino families seeking immigration support. I have been an educator for 27 years. I worked at 3 different high schools and at the university level. Christine's background, knowledge on research-based measures and interventions, her passion for learning along with her compassion for students and families who may be in crisis or need, combined with her highly developed professional skills, made her the perfect candidate for this prestigious award. And we could not agree more. It is my pleasure to present Christina Ramirez with the 2018
All right, overwhelmed really just doesn't sum it up at all. I think I'm shaking from the waist down. The waist up is kind of under control. As many of you, well, you all don't know me, but tend to be a little bit of a nervous Nelly, but hide it really well. So I was up at 5 o'clock this morning because I had a brilliant idea of what I would say, and now it just doesn't seem enough. So first to start, to all of you who came today to support me, and my son Chris is on FaceTime video because he couldn't make it. Just know that your invite was intentional. You played an important role in my life in some way. In some way, you helped me get here to where I am, and I am grateful for that. So my connection with Loyola, it's actually way longer than I ever thought. I grew up in Rogers Park. Literally, I don't know, maybe 8 blocks from Loyola University. I probably drove past it 1,000 times. I ran on the campus in the morning with my best friend, and we ran through the campus right by the Donaville Strada and back to our house almost every morning. And I didn't know that eventually Loyola would come to be a part of my life. When you are the firstborn of an immigrant, or a refugee actually, my mother was a refugee from Cuba, you grow up without, I think, what a lot of people have, these touchstones, these milestones, these mementos, these objects that people have from their past. And I didn't have any of those. There were very few pictures, very few buildings that we drove by that I could say that's where my grandfather went to school, that's where my aunt studied. She left alone and came to the United States. And now I've lost my space, so I'm just going to have to go off the cuff and off my mind. Fast forward to this time now, and where I started learning about my past. And Loyola actually played a role in both my parents' life, my mother and my stepfather. My father came from Pakistan, also an immigrant, and Loyola was a school that accepted him and educated him. He's currently a psychologist. And I swore I would never be one, so that's actually kind of humorous living that way. And then my mom's story is a little different. She arrived in Cuba, so my father started school, my mother started high school at about the same time probably. And she was told, she was 15, she came to live with her brother, her parents were here, and she was told that college wasn't really a possibility for her. And she went home and she said, well, I'm gonna figure this out on my own. And she mailed a letter to Loyola, and Loyola mailed the application back. This was before internet and email. And she sat down at her typewriter, the trusty old typewriter. All of us over 40 or probably 50 know about that, know how hard it is to do an application online. And she typed out her application, and she sent it in. And probably 6 to 8 weeks later, she got an acceptance letter. And so it's providential to me, and I've said this before, so the staff at Loyola know this. It's providential to me that I am here today, the daughter of a refugee, the daughter of an immigrant, accepting this award. And it goes on. The mission of Loyola, of the School of Education, and now I'll get back to my words, I found them. The mission of the School of Education is social justice, but our responsibility is social action through education. So to the staff at the university, please know that you are demonstrating the mission every day. I know this because I work with your students as a supervisor every day. I have your interns, I have your practicum students, and they remind me of that mission in everything they do. They challenge me, They push me to think and to advocate within a social justice framework. So that partnership pushes me every day to do better for myself, for my staff who's here, thank you, and for the community that I serve. Thank you for this honor, and I sincerely hope I can continue the work that I began. I intend to, and this is just the piece that we need as educators to validate the work that we do every day. So thank you.
And I do know the difference between counseling psych and school psych. My apologies. Wonderful programs all. It's my pleasure to actually represent the Cultural and Educational Policy Studies, presenting on behalf of the program. This year's nominee is Dr. Laura Perry. Dr. Perry is unable to join us as she's conducting research in Australia right now. It is my pleasure, though, to offer these words of praise about Dr. Perry and her work. Dr. Perry is the 2018 recipient of the Cultural and Educational Policy Studies Distinguished Alumni Award. She earned her undergraduate degree from Johns Hopkins University and University of Michigan. She also earned a master's degree in Cultural and Educational Policy Studies from Loyola University, and her doctorate degree is also from Loyola and was awarded in 2003. Dr. Perry's research interests fall in areas of comparative and international education, sociology of education, and education policy. She examines how education policies and systems are related to inequalities of students' opportunities, experiences, and outcomes. She aims to conduct research that can guide policy making for the purpose of improving educational equity. Her specific research interests include educational inequalities, social class in education, school social segregation, and marketization of education. As another STEPS faculty member had this to share about Laura. The STEPS Studies program here is pleased that Dr. Perry has been selected to receive this award. Currently an associate professor in the School of Education at Murdoch University in Australia, Dr. Perry has an accomplished record of scholarship and teaching that perfectly embodies Loyola's commitment to social justice and the STEPS program commitment to using the disciplines of the social sciences and humanities to study educational issues and questions. Dr. Perry conducts comparative research on educational disadvantage and inequalities with a particular interest in school segregation and social class stratification. Formerly a faculty member at Charles University in Prague in the Czech Republic, she travels. Her publication includes extensive scholarship on post-communist schooling and educational transformation. Her recent work has also explored educational inequalities in Australia, and she has conducted work on international baccalaureate or IB programs there. Dr. Perry's work reaches policymakers and the public, as is evidenced by her recent work in the Commission for Economic Development of Australia. She serves as regional editor for Australia and for the Bloomsbury Educational and Childhood Studies digital resource on the state of education systems around the globe. Dr. Perry is recognized as a superlative teacher, skilled at integrating comparative perspectives into her classrooms, and has served as the director of numerous dissertations and master's theses. With a recent grant from the IB program, she's presently conducting a study of the middle program years in IB and also embarking on new initiatives that utilize qualitative comparative analysis. With her record of accomplishments and with many years of fruitful education policy work ahead of her, Dr. Perry is a most worthy recipient of this Alumni Award. Congratulations to Dr. Perry. I accept this on her behalf. Dr. Debbie Sullivan, Administration and Supervision.
please join me at the podium. Dr. Mary Mendon is the 2018 recipient of the Administration and Supervision Distinguished Alumni Award. She earned her undergraduate degree in music, education, and marketing from St. Xavier University, Chicago, Illinois. Dr. Mendon also earned a Master of Arts degree in Education Administration from St. Xavier University. In 2015, a doctorate in curriculum and instruction was earned at Loyola University, Chicago, followed by a leading inclusive Catholic schools license certificate in 2016 from Loyola University, Chicago. Dr. Mendon is currently an elementary school principal for the Archdiocese of Chicago. She has been in education for over 25 years as both a classroom teacher and administrator. Using the PLC framework as a vehicle for school improvement, her passion focuses on empowering school leaders to establish and foster collaborative teacher teams within their school buildings to create a positive school climate focused on student success. One of her nominators spelled out many of the ways Dr. Mendon lives wholly into her multifaceted role as an education administrator. In addition to being the school principal, Dr. Mendon serves as the school's music teacher. She shares her talents and passion for music and performance with the students and staff. As a teacher, she develops strong relationships with students and parents, understanding the children's needs as well as family circumstances. Dr. Mendon models a deep faith and commitment to service. She shares her musical talents with the parish, serving as a cantor and musician for weekly liturgies at school and on Sundays. Given her passion for performance, it is no surprise that Dr. Mendon also leads the charge in spreading the good news about the opportunities available to students and families who register at St. Nicholas of Tolentine School. She is an active ambassador for the school's marketing efforts year-round. Under Dr. Mendon's leadership, St. Nicholas of Tolentine's enrollment is growing and closing in on 400. Dr. Mendon and her staff provide a warm, welcoming, and responsive environment for students and families. When you walk into the school, you feel the energy buzzing and you are welcomed warmly by all you encounter. Dr. Mendon is an excellent example of leadership, learning, and proclaiming the faith. Another nominator offers this reflection of her tenure as principal at St. Nicholas of Tolentine. Dr. Mary Agnes Mendon has brought about a shift to inclusion in the past 5 years. She has hired an inclusion specialist to make sure that all students who are enrolled at St. Nick's are served to meet their needs. This focus on inclusion has also impacted the professional development of the teachers directly. The focus of this school under Dr. Mendon's leadership has always been student-centered. They ask, is this what is best for the children? They also make sure that the faith of the school is a part of everything because that is their mission. The excellent work that St. Nicholas of Tolentine has done with Dr. Mendon at the helm has made this school a success story in many ways. Other schools who are focused on inclusion seek St. Nick's out, and Dr. Mendon mentors and counsels principals who are new to inclusion about what has worked at St. Nick's. I think that Dr. Mendon embodies everything about Loyola's School of Education mission statement. Our mission is social justice, but our responsibility is social action through education. It is my pleasure to present this award to Dr. Mary Agnes.
Thank you. I wish to extend my gratitude to Loyola University School of Education for this recognition and honor today. I am deeply humbled to be chosen as one of the 2018 Distinguished Alumni recipients. And I have many fond memories of my time here at Loyola University. Through my classes, I learned what it means to see God in all things, I'll be brief. Whether it was in learning curriculum theory, or understanding diverse learners, or completing a quantitative methods class, the professors brought out the best in myself and my cohort peers. And in the spirit of St. Ignatius of Loyola, they challenged us to take what we have learned and to make someone else's world better. And that's what I try to do each day in my ministry as a school leader. And it's because of my Loyola education. So thank you to Loyola University School of Education and the Greeley Center for Catholic School Effectiveness for giving me an opportunity almost 9 years ago to be part of a cohort with other Catholic school principals pursuing a doctoral degree. You made my world better.
We have such wonderful people. Dr. Leanne Alumni, Research Methodology.
I have this reflex that when other people cry, I just automatically cry. I was last, you have to come up here and do this. But it's just because of all the wonderful experiences everyone has. I'd like to invite up to the podium with me Dr. Stacy Nair-Brennan. Dr. Stacy Nair-Brennan earned her undergraduate degree at the University of Missouri-Columbia in business. She earned a master's degree in business administration from the Quinlan School of Business here at Loyola. Her PhD was earned in the School of Education with an emphasis on research methods in 2004. In the nomination of Dr. Brennan, Dr. Terry Piggott stated, Dr. Brennan's commitment to undergraduate education and her professional and community activities embody the School of Education's conceptual framework, professionalism in service of social justice. Stacy has taught in the Department of Marketing in the Quinlan School of Business in 2008 after a career of marketing research and consumer insights. Since she's joining Quinlan School of Business, she has been among the most successful undergraduate instructors here at Loyola. Many of her courses incorporate real-life work through partnering with local businesses. Her students work with local businesses to develop solutions to current problems, applying research strategies she learned through the RMTD degree. This article posted in the Quinlan School of Business website discusses how she incorporates real-life problems in her teaching and how she has engaged alumni to work with her students. Her successful teaching has been recognized by Loyola community with the 2017 Colvin Bach Award for Engaged Teaching. All of Dr. Brennan's classes are designated as engaged learning. She takes seriously the Ignatian pedagogical principles of experience, reflection, and action in all of her courses. Dr. Brennan also integrates her teaching with her research. Many of her publications describe her teaching innovations such as the use of social media in higher education and the exploration of SLAC's collaborative potential in undergraduate marketing research. She has developed an award-winning business case that is used by marketing classes nationwide as described in this story. Her research and teaching demonstrates her deep commitment to undergraduate education and the career of the personal care and concern for the individual. She strives to understand the context and life experience of her students in order to help them develop deeper knowledge of the world. All of Dr. Brennan's work shows her great commitment to the success of Loyola University Chicago. She has certificates in both Ignatian pedagogy and assessment and has numerous teaching and marketing research awards. Most importantly, Dr. Brennan is an exemplar of an outstanding teacher in the Jesuit tradition. Her students know that she cares about their development and is willing to challenge them to apply their work for the good of others. Her joy for her work is immediately evident. Another colleague of Dr. Brennan added these thoughts. Dr. Naya Brennan has proven to be a hard worker, a prolific writer and researcher, and a respected member of the larger academic community and a cooperative and stimulating colleague. She's industrious, intellectually curious. Her success at Loyola attests to her intelligence, her flexibility, and her ability to keep current in her discipline. The fact that she obtained her PhD while successfully maintaining status as a non-tenured faculty member in the Department of Marketing demonstrates her boundless energy. Since receiving her degree, she has demonstrated continuous professional development and achievement in service to society in the Jesuit tradition, as well as being a shining example of the excellent training she received in the School of Education. Her CV highlights her academic contributions in the form of published articles and cases. It is an impressive list of accomplishments, demonstrates her generosity of time and expertise, as well as her ongoing engagement with the university and larger community. It is clear that Dr. Stacy Naya Brennan is an outstanding alum of the School of Education and deserves all honors and thanks that we can impart on her. So it is my pleasure to present this award.
Thank you all so much. This is truly an honor, and I really share the gratitude that all of the other distinguished alumni share this morning. So thank you all for being here and all the support systems that are here. I have some gratitude to express certainly to Leanne. Leanne was one of my dissertation committee members, so to have her be able to present this means a lot. There's very few times where I'm in the classroom and I talk about context with my undergraduate business students, and I think of Leanne because she always reminded me of how important context was in a research project, and starting with that background really makes everything so much more effective. So thank you, Leanne, for everything that you have taught me. I do thank Dr. Terry Piggott as well. She was the nominator for this award, and I would not be standing here and really continuing the path without Terry's love and constant support. Other people who are here, Abby Sabat, I'm so happy to see you. Abby was my research assistant within dissertation, and I truly would not be here without the gritty work that she did on my behalf, working with the data collection, and really, I learned so many lessons from her, mostly in that the idea of really working with a research project, you need a team. It is not a solo endeavor, even though we oftentimes think a dissertation is, but Abby, I could not have done it without you. And it's so cool that Abby has returned to Loyola. She's working on her EDD now, so 2 years from now, my friend, I'll be watching you walk at commencement stage. And of course, to my awesome husband, Matt, I'm so happy that you are here, and he is an alumni as well, also did his Master of Business here at Loyola. So go Ramblers, we're a very Rambler family, so I love you very much. That word love, too, I think that's really what is really circling in my mind right now. A dear colleague and friend, Dr. Susanna Cavallo, many of you probably know Dr. Cavallo, former dean of our growing center. I heard her say one time, this was years ago, it was during my coursework, she said, we just need to love our students. It's that simple. We just need to love our students. And so even on the days when it feels trying and it feels challenging and the students don't sometimes see right away, or even in the course of a semester, how research can really help businesses find a way out of disadvantage, how research can answer powerful questions that can address why business is a force for good. Even on those days when they push back on that very seemingly simple notion, we have to love our students. And that really is the modus, the more that we can give is the constant love to our students across disciplines, across economic levels, across from high school to university undergraduate. So for me, being a faculty member at Loyola for the past 10 years now has been an untraditional approach, but what remains constant really is the love I have felt for my undergraduate students. So thank you all so much. It's just an honor to be a part of the School of Education through Quinlan School of Business, but again, it's just an honor, truly an honor. Thank you all.
You know, it becomes more obvious to me each year that we do this about how through all the programs in the School of Education, where there's that joyful like first day of kindergarten where we're welcoming the new learner to school, through counseling them through those troubled teen years and the angst that happens there, and then watching them finally commence across the stage, that we have a full circle. And for many of you as learners, you come back and be added to that circle because you're like, I need to move this down. And love is really the key to everything, right? And there cannot be enough love in this world right now. So we have to do all we can to foster that and support each other. So let's give all of our recipients a really